buttercup, you're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so welcome to another deep dive, everybody.
Excited to be here.
Today we're diving headfirst into this whole debate surrounding the 12-team college football playoff format.
Yeah.
You know, specifically, are we going to look at ranking, or should we give those conference champions automatic buys, even if they're, maybe ranked a little bit lower?
Yeah, definitely on hot topic.
It is a hot topic, and reading through the source material, I mean,
oh, yeah.
some strong opinions out there.
For sure, some spicy takes.
I'm excited to dig in.
Me too.
Yeah.
This debate really gets to, like, the core of what matters in college football, right? Like, are we all about just the best teams no matter what?
Yeah.
Or is there something about winning your conference? Even if you have a couple more losses, does that matter?
Exactly. I went into this, I thought it was pretty clear-cut in my head.
Yeah.
But after reading these articles, it's like, I don't know.
Made you think a little bit.
Yeah. Seth Emerson, he's a sports writer for The Athletic.
Okay.
He's got this kind of radical idea, I think, that those automatic buys for the conference champions actually make the playoffs more exciting.
More exciting.
Yeah.
Instead of less exciting.
Not less exciting.
Interesting.
So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I mean, Emerson's argument basically hinges on this idea that these automatic buys, even for lower-ranked conference champs, can make those first-round matchups way more interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, think about it.
Okay.
You've got your top 4 conference champs. They get a bye no matter what their ranking is.
Yeah.
So you could have a team like Boise State.
Okay.
They might be ranked 10th overall,
Yeah.
but they won the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Automatic spot in the quarterfinals.
Interesting.
Right.
I see where he's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of having those games in the first round where it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
number 1's just going to crush number 12.
Right. Those powerhouse teams just roll in.
Right. You have the possibility of some real upsets
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
And those upsets create stories.
Oh, yeah, like Cinderella stories.
Yeah, like who doesn't love a good underdog story?
Exactly. And Emerson highlights Boise State specifically. They've got a history of those big upsets, especially in the bowl games.
Yeah.
So imagine them in the quarterfinals.
That'd be something.
Right. Shaking things up.
And another thing that I thought about?
Yeah.
If we just went purely by ranking,
Mm-hmm.
we might end up with like the same SEC and Big Ten teams every single year.
Oh, yeah. It'd be like the SEC and Big Ten Invitational.
Right.
Right.
Like, that's not as fun.
Not as much variety.
No. But those automatic buys could give, a team from a smaller conference
Yeah.
a real shot.
A
Yeah.
chance to shine,
Yeah.
to make a deep run.
And that keeps things unpredictable.
Keeps it exciting, keeps people watching all through December.
It's not just about the championship anymore.
Exactly. It's
Let's-
like the whole month is a showcase.
Yeah. And more viewers means more money for the sport.
That's always a good thing for
Right.
the schools, for the conferences.
All right. So let's be real, though. Not everyone's thrilled about this idea.
Oh, no, of course not.
We had some pretty strong counter arguments from readers
Yeah.
in the comments on Emerson's article.
What were some of those?
Okay, so David P., he said fairness has got to be the top priority, not just entertainment.
Yeah, fairness is important.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he pointed out, like, the number one team, Oregon in this case,
Okay.
could end up with a way tougher opponent right away,
Yeah.
which puts them at a disadvantage.
Even though they earned that top spot?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
It's like they worked hard all season for that top ranking.
Right. They deserve a fair shot.
Right. And then you've got this whole other argument about, like, strategic scheduling.
Oh, yeah. Teams trying to game the
Yeah.
system.
It's like, do you go for the tougher opponents even if it hurts your overall ranking?
Right.
Or do you kind of, like, coast through with some weaker opponents so you win your conference?
Yeah, and then get that automatic bye.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
And Paul A., another commenter,
Okay.
he really echoed that same sentiment about rewarding conference wins.
Yeah.
Like, he said that's crucial for the integrity of the whole sport.
Mm.
And I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
Like, every conference champion deserves a fair shot at the title.
Right. Not just the big guys.
Not just the powerhouse teams, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's where it gets kind of complicated, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it really fair to penalize a team like Oregon
Yeah.
who earned that top spot
Right.
just to spice up the first round?
Yeah, good point.
And if we're saying conference championships are like the most important thing,
Yeah.
does that mean it doesn't matter if you play a tough schedule?
It's true. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And then another commenter, Alex S., brought up this really interesting idea.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
reseeding after the first round.
Hmm.
So you still get those automatic bids for the conference champs?
Right, so you get the upsets, you get that excitement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you reseed.
So the top teams still have a chance.
Exactly.
And
And like finding that balance between, rewarding the teams that were consistent all season
right.
and, still acknowledging that these are single elimination games.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. It really makes you think about what's most important.
What we value the most.
Yeah, and this whole debate, it goes beyond just like the seeding and the rankings.
Oh, for sure.
It's about what makes college football so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, are we all about tradition in those powerhouse programs?
The blue bloods.
Yeah. Or are we ready for like a new era,
The underdogs.
Yeah.
More upsets.
More Cinderella stories.
Cinderella stories, yeah.
And let's not forget about the money.
Oh, yeah.
A more exciting playoff format
Uh-huh.
that means more viewers,
Yeah.
bigger TV deals,
Yeah.
more money for everyone.
More money.
But is there a downside?
Right, like what about competitive balance?
Yeah, could it make the gap between the haves and the have-nots even bigger?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
It is tough, and I think some people would say a more exciting playoff format actually helps those smaller schools.
How so?
Well, they get more exposure, right?
Okay, more people see them play.
Yeah. A bigger platform to showcase their talent.
Right, that makes sense.
But then again, if it's the same teams making the playoffs every year,
Yeah.
because they can just, schedule those weaker opponents.
Right, and coast to a conference title.
Yeah. Is that really good for the sport?
Good question.
It's a tough one.
It is.
And I think this whole thing really forces us to look at, like,
Yeah.
what we believe about college football.
Our own assumptions.
Yeah, like, are we saying pure athletic dominance is all that matters?
The best team wins no matter what.
Yeah. Or do we like the underdog story more?
The thrill of the upset.
Yeah. That David versus Goliath thing.
I mean, that's what makes March Madness so great. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All those upsets. And I think the answer might be different for every fan.
Probably.
Some people want predictability.
They want to know who's going to win.
Yeah. They like seeing the top teams dominate.
Right, the dynasties.
Yeah.
And then other people,
They want chaos.
they want the Cinderella story.
Exactly. That's what makes this whole conversation so interesting.
For sure, it's not about being right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's about understanding all of the different sides.
All the different perspectives.
Yeah.
And I think a good question to ask ourselves is,
Yeah.
if we were in charge of designing the playoff format,
Okay.
what would be most important to us?
What would we prioritize?
Yeah. Would be fairness.
Making sure everyone has an equal shot.
Yeah. Or excitement.
Making sure the games are fun to watch.
Yeah. Or maybe something else entirely.
Something we haven't even thought of yet.
Right.
And how do we balance all the different interests?
Yeah, the players, the coaches, the fans, the conferences, the TV networks.
It's a lot of people to keep happy.
It is a lot.
So do we focus on the regular season?
Make sure every game matters.
Right.
Or do we try to create a playoff format that, like, captures everyone's attention?
Makes college football even bigger than it already is.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
It is, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we're all armchair commissioners trying to figure this out.
Right.
Right.
Trying to find the perfect formula.
And it's tough.
It is. There are no easy answers.
Every decision has these ripple effects.
Yeah, you change one thing and it affects everything else.
Exactly. But that's what makes it so interesting to talk about.
Oh, for sure.
And what's really cool?
Yeah.
This new 12-team format,
Yeah.
it's still so new.
We're just getting started.
We are. It's like we're all watching this grand experiment unfold.
That's a great way to put it.
And think about all the different scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine a team like Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They barely missed the playoffs with the 4-team format.
Right? They were right there on the bubble.
But now they've got a chance,
As a conference champion.
Yeah, they could really prove themselves.
On the big stage.
Yeah, and how would that change things?
That's a good question.
If they succeed or if they flop.
Does that change how people see the format?
Yeah, and how strong their conference is.
Really makes you think.
It does. And the way we talk about these teams,
Yeah.
the narratives we create.
The storylines.
Yeah. It's all going to be shaped by this new format.
It's not just about the games themselves.
Right. It's about how they change the whole landscape of college football.
Exactly. And for you, the listener,
Yeah.
this is your chance to really level up as a fan.
Become an expert.
Right. So when you're watching those playoff games,
Yeah.
pay attention to those little details.
Yeah, like what?
Like, how does the seeding affect the matchups?
Okay.
Do those automatic bids actually lead to more upsets?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like more conferences have a shot at the title?
Yeah. Like, is there more parity now?
Right. Because your perspective matters.
It does. So talk about it.
Share your thoughts online.
Debate with your friends.
Yeah, have those conversations.
This is a big moment for college football.
A turning point.
Yeah, and we're all a part of it.
We all have a role to play.
So think about it. Yeah,
In
if
fact-
you are in charge,
If you were the commissioner,
what would you do?
what will be your top priorities?
Fairness, excitement, something else entirely.
Would you throw tradition out the window for innovation?
These are the questions we should all be asking.
As we enter this new era of college football.
That's right.
So keep an open mind
Embrace the chaos.
and enjoy the ride.
That's what it's all about.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have the ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the